Well, the competition regulator will not oppose the $24 billion takeover of Sydney Airport by a group of superannuation funds and global investors. Joining me now is business reporter Edward Boyd. Ed, this is an interesting one. The ACCC has given it the green light.
Kind of funny from the ACCC chief, Rod Sims. He says airports are always a monopoly. Sydney Airport is a monopoly and it's going to remain a monopoly. Doesn't matter who owns it. They've got the only airport in Sydney at this stage. There will be one out near Badgerys Creek opening in a few more years' time in 2026. But it's kind of funny to hear the head of the ACCC endorse this deal because it already is a monopoly. So it's going to be voted on by shareholders now in February next year. Shareholders in Sydney Airport will get to say yes. More than 75% need to vote in favour of the deal, but I imagine they will give it the green light as well. It also needs Foreign Investment Review Board approval. But the buyer is called Sydney Aviation Alliance. It's a group of Australian superannuation funds along with one global investment company, which is why it needs the FIRB approval. But Laura, the market has just opened today. It's flat in early trade, down just 4 points.
Okay. All right, that is pretty flat indeed. Ed, just back on this monopoly that is the monstrosity of Sydney Airport, has the ACCC or anyone flagged the need to have any more rules around Sydney Airport because of its monopoly status?
No, because they've actually gone into a bit of detail talking about all of the other airports across the country. So when they looked at the competition around Sydney Airport, they compared it to all the other major airports around Australia's capital cities, and they said Sydney Airport operates virtually the same as all the others that are already currently in Australia, and there's no real need for further rules or restrictions placed on airports at this stage.
Except for curbside drop-off and pick-up. I mean, it's good enough for LAX, but apparently we can't do it at Sydney. You get funneled into that car park. But obviously that might just be me. Anyway, Ed, Australia's fertility rate has hit a record low. What does this mean for the economy?
Look, for the economy, it means basically less economic activity because there'll be less children giving people jobs in childcare and schools, and then less people eventually paying tax when they grow up into adults. So the median age of a mother now in Australia in the year 2020 is 31.6 years old, which has been slowly rising over the last 30 years. So the Bureau of Statistics released this figure showing the fertility rate of a woman has fallen from 1.9 children per woman in 1990 to 1.58 today. But there have been some rises in certain age categories, including age 40 to 44 has tripled over that time period. But Australia's fertility rate was at the 2 figure in 2008. And that was all credited to Peter Costello, the former Treasurer of the country's baby bonus that he introduced in 2003. That helped boost the fertility rate over that 5 to 6 year period. But since 2008, it's been falling again. So perhaps Australia needs a bit of a cash injection, a baby bonus injection, to get fertility back up, because it sort of needs to be closer to that 2 number per woman rather than the 1.5 kind of figure we're at today to really help economic growth.
Ed, thanks so much.
Thanks, Laura.